parsnip glazed in maple. So in total I need 454 grams. So I have one big parsnip, and then I have the carrots. So firstly, with the parsnip, you will peel it. And you have a nice white parsnip here. It smells really nice. And then if you have like pieces like this, you just use the corner of your peeler if you have a corner. And otherwise you can remove it later with a knife. And there we go. And the ends you will cut with the knife. But for now, you set it aside and you peel also your carrots. Okay. So this is going to be for a autumn dish, and it's vegetarian also. This recipe is inspired by a recipe that you can find on the website Meatless Monday. I just, because I don't have a rainbow of colored, well, a variety of colored carrots, I do with parsnip and orange carrot to have at least two different colors in my dish. You just peel all the carrots. There we go. Once it's peeled, you will cut the ends. And for now, those which are where the ends are cut, you put here in a separate plate so you can know which ones have been done. Do the same with the parsnip. So, alright, I'm gonna start by cutting the parsnip because it's the largest. I'm going to first cut it in half, lengthwise, if I can. It doesn't have to be perfect, so don't worry. And then again lengthwise in half. The reason I do this is so that I have mouth bites. Once they're cut in quarters, you will cut accordingly, just so you have mouth bites. And more. And once cut, you put it in this bowl here, which is on the side. So I continue with the parsnip. I always start with the biggest vegetable because that will have the most weight. There we go. And go in here. Okay, I already have 206 weight just with the parsnip. With the carrots, I'm going to do slices. And I put the carrots also in the bowl. Alright, that's 370 with 2 carrots and the parsnip. And when you have small carrots, you can put the 2 carrots next to each other and cut them at the same time. They have to be approximately the same length, otherwise it doesn't work. And you have to have a chef's knife. Okay, now that the ends are a bit different length, I'm going to cut them separately. There we go. Now, let's hope. Okay. I will do one more small one. Okay, so now that I have all the carrots and parsnip ready, I've added 2 more carrots, small carrots, to get to the weight of 454. And right after that, I've put the oven on 245 degrees Celsius for roasting. Then, since they're cut now, I'm gonna put them here in this dish. It's good that they can be spread out because you want it to roast nicely. So afterwards you're gonna use a teaspoon of olive oil. So I have my teaspoon measurement here. And you will also add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So first the olive oil. I use a olive oil from the region and it's extra virgin. So I put the oil in. I'm gonna need the teaspoon for later, so I set aside for now. And then for the salt, I'm gonna use just normal cooking sea salt. And I will put a 1/4 teaspoon. 1/4 teaspoon is about this size. So you don't need a lot. And then I just spread it on. So once the salt is in, because I don't need the 1/4 teaspoon anymore, I'm going to use it to help mix the salt, olive oil, and the vegetables. You can also do it by hand. And once it's evenly coated, I'm going to continue by hand. So once the olive oil and salt are coated everywhere, you're going to spread it out again. If you use your hands, make sure to wash your hands with warm water and soap, because otherwise you have oil everywhere. And afterwards, this will go in the oven for 10 minutes. Alright, so now I'm going to dry roast 2 types of seeds, flax seeds and linen seeds. So first I put my flame on, and for each, normally you would put 2 tablespoons of sunflower seeds. However, since I have only flax seeds and linen seeds, I'm going to do a combination of both. So I put 1 tablespoon of flax seeds, and I will put 1 tablespoon of linen seed. The linen seed is more like golden, while the flax seed is more brown. And I put it all in the pan. So. Now, while that's doing, the oven is ready, and I'm going to add this into the oven for 10 minutes. So the function of the oven I use is pulsed airs. So it's where you have like a fan that circulates hot air in the oven. So I make sure now that my carrots and parsnip are in the oven, I put my timer on my watch, and in the meantime that's cooking, I will roast these seeds, dry roast these seeds, and also I will prepare a half tablespoon of butter. The tablespoon of butter will be later used with the maple. I'm going to add a lid onto the pan because the seeds are kind of flying away, and you can hear like a pop pop pop, like guys when you do popcorn. Okay. I'm gonna lower the heat just so, because I'm using a gas stove, so the heat is quite hot. I don't need a very high flame for this. But I can already smell the nice roasted. Alright, good. I'm gonna stop the flame now and let it cool down. I'm gonna put the dry roasted seeds in this bowl. Alright. Smells really nice, nicely roasted. Whoops. Reminds me a bit of the smell of popcorn. Alright. So now that is set aside, I'm gonna put my butter in the pan. And as you can see, the heat is already, the residual heat from the pan is already melting the butter. And I will add now the 2 teaspoons of maple syrup. So as you know, the teaspoon before I used for the olive oil, and now I'm gonna reuse it for the maple syrup. And a bit more than 2 teaspoons. And this is purely with residual heat. I'm not cooking it or anything, it's just the residual heat, and that is enough to cook it. Now this is ready. I just have to wait for my carrots and parsnip in the oven, and afterwards I will drizzle this onto the oven, the carrots and parsnip, and I will roast it for 8 more minutes. So the 10 minutes have passed, and as you can hear, we might hear it's sizzling. I'm gonna stir it a bit so that it cools down, and you can see. Now I'm going to add the maple butter mixture. I make sure to scrape everything that's in the pan, and then put it in the ceramic. There we go. Okay, now the pan is practically devoid of maple and butter. And I will now stir this so that with the rubber spatula, because that's the only way I can really toss them at the moment without burning myself. Also, I make sure to have a glove which protects me from the heat, because dishes that come out from the oven are very hot and you can burn yourself. Alright, so it's nicely coated. Make sure. There we go. Alright. So now it will go back into the oven, and it will be for an additional 8 minutes or until brown and tender. So, get going. So I'm going to, although it says 8 minutes, I'm going to put first 5 minutes, and then I will see if they are brown and tender. And if not, then I will add an additional 3 minutes. So 5 minutes to go, and I will check. And then I will, if they're not ready, I will add an additional 3 minutes. And once they are ready, roasted and everything, I will take them out of the oven, and I will add these seeds for serving. You can add also parsley if you want. I will just go with the seeds, because this will be, I will be using this as a side dish or main dish. Alright, then